Last year, through our pro bono work, Kilpatrick Townsend improved the lives of children and families, defended asylum seekers escaping extreme violence and persecution, protected the right to vote, expanded opportunities for low-income inventors, and gave 14 nonviolent federal prisoners another chance to live in freedom. This work is an investment in a society built on the rule of law to promote equality, freedom, and fairness. It's also an investment in ourselves as people and legal professionals at this firm, driven in a multitude of ways to make a meaningful difference in our society and our world.
Susan is just really an extraordinary woman. She's so dedicated to the children that she represents. She's also dedicated to our organization and making sure that we sustain ourselves so that we can continue to represent children in the courtroom.
I can't go anywhere without a district court judge telling me how much they appreciate the work that the guardian ad litems do. I personally find it rewarding because you're coming into a situation where there's a family in crisis. We are all extremely lucky to be at a firm that supports pro bono work. It's not just a check the box kind of requirement. I think every lawyer can find some sort of pro bono project that you can really put your heart into. For me, it's been the guardian ad litem work because I feel drawn to children and really want to help them in these difficult circumstances. But I think every lawyer should look for opportunities within the community or within the greater firm to do some sort of pro bono work that just, it satisfies your soul. You go home at the end of the day feeling like you did something good today.
Henry Walker and I had a very challenging case in the Atlanta Immigration Court last year. There was a woman from El Salvador that had come over, was seeking asylum here in this country. She'd been in a horribly abusive relationship with kind of a notorious gang member in El Salvador and had fled that relationship to seek protection here. Many of the immigration courts are incredibly hostile to these types of cases. And to go into that situation and really have to try to put on a trial in front of a judge who was incredibly skeptical, and to have the chairman of the firm stand in the courtroom with me and introduce himself to the judge, I think it speaks volumes about the commitment that Kilpatrick makes.
John Moy put his heart and soul into preparing this case. He made several long trips down to the detention center to see Ms. Hernandez. He also did an excellent job presenting the evidence in an over 3-hour hearing before the judge.
Whether it was an LGBT couple who was looking to adopt a child and wanted to be recognized as the parents on the birth certificate, or in dispossessory court where tenants come in and are facing an immediate eviction from their homes. In all those situations, I think the common theme is they don't have representation, they don't have anyone to advocate for them. And I think part of the reason it's so compelling to do pro bono work is because you find yourself in a situation where they really need a champion and need someone to kind of advocate on their behalf.
We have a long relationship with the Inner City Law Center. Part of that is making sure that the conditions that people are living in are satisfactory.
This presented an opportunity to help people, 15 different people here, secure safe and healthy housing. We were meeting with 2 of the different plaintiffs and talking to them about what their expectations were for settlement. And one of the plaintiffs said, I want to settle right now. They've already offered me $8,000 and $8,000 is all I need to fix my teeth. And he smiled and he had just a mouthful of missing teeth, discolored teeth. And that was really all he wanted. I mean, he was going to be so happy if he could leave there with $8,000 to fix his teeth. And I'm happy to say that I think we're going to be able to get that particular plaintiff over $16,000.
This was a great experience for her in the sense that she had substantive litigation experience that she could use and practice and gain experience from very early on. This includes depositions, court appearances, mediations, interacting with opposing counsel, managing large groups of attorneys because this case involved multiple timekeepers and attorneys who were involved. The substantive experience that I think Heather was able to gain on this thing was invaluable.
Election protection is an initiative of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law, which is an organization that is over 50 years old, that was actually established back in 1963 by President John F. Kennedy, where he sent out a clarion call to all the law firms of the country to get more involved in civil rights. Jonathan's task was to organize and to work collaboratively with all the leadership in order to make this a seamless operation on Election Day.
Jonathan has certainly a talent in terms of attention to detail and was very helpful in us being able to ensure that all the logistical details, the administrative details were executed, and that everything went smoothly.
Collaboration is one of the pillars for this firm. We really believe in it, both in our professional services to our clients, as well as in our work, for our pro bono work. Bringing everybody together and everybody committed to making sure that Kilpatrick Townsend as a whole is represented well in this endeavor was really important, and just is just yet another example of our collaborative spirit.
With Jonathan, it was nice to work with someone who was able to step in and take on a challenging, multi-layered project and develop a strategy, work with all the right people in the firm to effectively execute it and put on a successful event with a little bit of humor about it all along the way.
The greatest impact that we have is being able to help underprivileged or garage type inventors bring their ideas and get them protected, but also bring them to market and kind of spur on that innovation and help them achieve things that they normally wouldn't be able to achieve.
The inventions that come in through this program are anywhere from mechanical to chemical related, software, electrical, with 300 attorneys to choose from to help. It's very beneficial to always have someone that has the expertise to help in their particular field. With a firm that has such a mission towards pro bono, it starts with Tamara. She's very passionate about the pro bono program. You kind of get caught up in that when you're talking to her about it, because the passion sort of emanates, and so you can tell that it's not just a box that's being checked. As we do pro bono work as a firm. It's something that's entrenched in the firm, and I think everyone that's involved in the USPTO pro bono program feels that when they work with different individuals.
We were researching the legislative history of open carry regulation in South Carolina, and we found ourselves going back to the year 1900. And Louise was very persistent in tracking that down. She was told no, that it didn't exist. She kept trying elsewhere and ultimately found the information we were looking for. And she did this at a time when the South Carolina state offices were preparing for and then recovering from Hurricane Matthew.
I'm proud of the work that we do here at Kilpatrick Townsend, especially for not only for our clients, but for also our pro bono work. When I started the firm in 1987, there were only 2 offices here in Georgia, and just see how the firm has grown and expanded over the years in different areas of the country and around the world. I'm just so proud to be a part of it, what our department can provide services for this. We're just more than happy to help, and I just couldn't be happier to be here.
Working with Sean is a great experience. She's one of those incredible members of our firm who's very committed to the causes to which our firm is committed. If the attorneys with whom she works are going to work on pro bono matters, she insists that she's going to be right there with them.
With the pro bono work, because the teams are so small, often it provides me opportunities to explore other areas. I feel very honored to be able to contribute. I appreciate the fact that the teams that I work with value my work. I work with just brilliant people, talented people, driven people, and I like knowing that I'm a part of the fight against the injustices that our clients are battling.
I remember one evening she was here till 5 a.m. assisting one of the partners in our firm to get ready for trial. Again, if this is important to the firm, it's important to her as well.
The clemency project was an initiative of the Obama administration's Justice Department, in which pro bono attorneys would evaluate the records of nonviolent federal prisoners to determine their eligibility for clemency and file petitions on their behalf. This was difficult work. Our firm filed 26 petitions, 14 of which were granted by President Obama. 10 of those 14 individuals were serving federal life sentences. Of the 77 large law firms who participated in this project, our firm had the 4th highest number of petitions granted by the president. This year, we honor and recognize the 38 attorneys and staff who were involved in this project. Because of our work, 14 men will have another chance to make good on their lives outside of prison walls. Here's one of their stories.
When they sentenced him back in 2003, the judge wrote a very transcript. The transcript shows the judge was very sympathetic to him. So I'd like to read this to you. So the judge said, "This is a tragedy for you to sentence life in prison. I mean, the first tragedy is you got involved in drugs at all. This is the first tragedy. The second one is somebody that got a lot of personality. It seems like a lot of great characteristics, and you have so much to offer to society and to people. And so I'm so sorry I have to impose a sentence. It's a sentence that's done by the law. It's my duty to do so, so I will do it." So I think this presents like a lot of sympathy from this transcript. The judge is really unwilling to do so, but because at the time the law says it's mandatory.
Concrete Community School is almost 2 decades in the making. It really is the response to a community request that I received, having been an educator in East Oakland for 24 years, that something fundamentally different happens in the schools that serve the nation's most vulnerable youth and families.
In 2012, the school asked our corporate group and then helped them incorporate and open its doors. We helped with the formation of the company and helped them breathe basically life into their organization.
The Atlanta team helped Roses in Concrete negotiate a loan agreement to provide funding to build 9 portable classrooms. And so with those 9 classrooms, they were able to serve an additional 420 students.
Our vision is to create not the opportunity for people to escape suffering, but the opportunity for people to understand how to end it. And that is the purpose of Roses, is not to out-migrate our best and our brightest, but to cultivate the agency to transform our community into what it should be. And so we talk about growing warrior scholars. Our relationship with Kilpatrick is about a relationship with people like Jim Gilliland, who really had no business connecting with the school like Roses in Concrete. And yet the second he touched this space, he fully invested himself. And then brought so many of the resources from Kilpatrick to bear on a community that just doesn't get access to those kind of resources with any sort of consistency, if ever.
We're a very tight-knit team, and so it was very nice to be able to work with my team on such a noble purpose, and know that our expertise and experience would help the lives and impact the lives of children for years to come.
There have been a lot of groups in the firm that have really touched this project, and I think the fact too that our beloved Jim Gilliland was the initial contact makes us feel good.
The way in which Kilpatrick impacted us, I think most profoundly, is with presence, and specifically Jim's presence. We often say here that presence is profound.
Congratulations to all of this year's award recipients, and to all of you who contribute to Kilpatrick Townsend's pro bono practice. Through collaboration, hard work, and excellent lawyering, we collectively make a profoundly meaningful impact on our society and our world.